In this edition of Twin Reel Game Reviews, we'll be taking a look at the game Factotum by TACS Games. Now, Factotum is a puzzle solving game where the story behind it is that an unknown object has crashed into your ship, knocking out your life support systems and your engines. So it is up to you to take remote control of two walkers and walk them through 30 stages to get to the engine room, reactivate your life support system, and find out what crashed into your ship. And so while you're doing this, you do have another crewmate who is providing you verbal assistance over your intercom. I'm giving you hints and tips, stuff like that. Now, I really like the story behind this and how the game played out for the use of the gamepad, the whole atmosphere for the game. It was pretty interesting and quite the good use of the gamepad. I'm very impressed. Now, as you can see here, the game is played with like an infrared type camera system, whereas if you're actually controlling the two robots, the walkers, through an infrared terminal system. So that's pretty cool how he did that. You really feel like you're in a ship controlling walkers and trying to get them through the different stages to the end destination. Now, the game interface itself on the gamepad is pretty nice. It is unfortunate that the focus is on the gamepad because you've got your text on the gamepad, the voice acting is through the gamepad. None of that comes through the TV audio, and there is, as you can see, nothing on the bottom of the TV monitor to give you any type of indication that there's text. And so you do need to keep your audio up on your gamepad. That's one of the unfortunate things, is the fact that all the text and everything is through the gamepad. And so this game, for the most part, feels like it was meant to be played strictly on the gamepad, and the TV part may have been an afterthought, I'm not sure. But the voice acting, was actually really well done. I was quite impressed with the voice acting. It did definitely help bring up the atmosphere of the game and the feel of the story. The use of the walkers was really well done as well. Being able to use them to solve the different puzzles, picking up blocks and bombs and stuff to make your way through. There wasn't too many different objects you were able to interact with and use, but the use that you do have was, like I said, really well done. There are Miiverse stamps in each of the levels, so there's 30 Miiverse stamps to collect and use for making posts online. As well, the game though, like I said, with the font is actually kind of hard to read on the gamepad. And so I found myself basically just listening to the audio on the gamepad because the font was kind of hard to read, and the fact that the font or the text skipped through fairly quickly and before you could actually read it all. So for the most part, you're best, like I said, just to listen to the audio because the audio is really well done as well, like I said. The walkers do feel as if they're a little slow sometimes just because the levels themselves aren't too big, but because of your use of the walkers having to go back and forth and do a couple things over and over again, it does make it feel like the level is being longer than it should be because of that extra movement. The recommendation for this game, like I said, is definitely to play it on the gamepad because that seems to be the most natural feel on it. And with that as well, the gamepad does have a touch control system for being able to move the walkers because you can either use the touch control or use the C-stick. I found myself always using the C-stick because with the touch control, if you were to say touch on the forward motion for the robot or the walker, then he'll move forward. But if you slide your finger from the forward, say, to a turning spot, he doesn't turn. He keeps moving forward. It's like the game doesn't recognize when you move your finger from one location to another one. You have to actually put your finger off the controller and then back onto the right spot. Also, I noticed as well, some of the physics are slightly off because of the fact that when you have bombs and you stay up on a ledge, you drop the bomb over the ledge. Well, the bomb doesn't drop. You see it just sitting there in midair, but it does actually blow up whatever you're trying to blow up at the next level below you. So that's kind of a little glitch there, I think, but it still does the job. All in all, it was a really great game. I really enjoyed playing this. I would definitely recommend those who want a nice game to play. Like like a puzzle solving game like this with a really interesting story. It did take me, 4 or 5 hours to go through it to get it all done. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I would definitely give this a 7.5 out of 10, and that is it for this review.